You know, it's fascinating. When we look at these ancient Buddhist texts, the stuff you've shared,
Yeah.
it feels like we're uncovering a whole secret language,
Right.
like a way to decode a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe, you know?
Definitely. And it's incredible.
We're talking about commentaries, interpretations of Buddhist scriptures, specifically the Mahavajrayana Sutra.
Yeah. And to think that we have access to these dialogues about enlightenment,
I know. It's amazing.
amazing centuries ago.
It really is. And one of the things that immediately jumped out at me was this focus on mantras. They're everywhere in these texts. And it's not just about, you know, chanting beautiful sounds.
No, not at all.
Is it? What's going on here?
These texts describe mantras as tools, powerful tools,
Okay.
almost like keys
To what? What kind of keys?
to different states of consciousness.
Okay.
But what's so fascinating is how they connect sound
Uh-huh.
with the ability to actually shape reality.
Shape reality. That's a bold statement.
It is.
I mean, can you give me an example?
Sure. There's this one mantra that's said to invoke a powerful wind,
Okay.
capable of dispelling obstacles.
Thanks.
Right. And the text goes beyond just saying this is what it does. It goes into the how and the why.
See, this is what I love. This is what I love about these deep dives. Tell me more.
Okay, so the text explains that wind, right, in this context represents breath.
Okay.
Prana, this vital life force
Right.
that flows through everything.
Uh-huh.
So by reciting this mantra with focused intention, you're not just wishing for like a strong breeze.
Yeah.
You're tapping into that primal energy and directing it
Wow.
to clear a path.
So it's like you're aligning yourself with
Yeah.
these forces of nature.
Exactly.
Almost becoming a conduit for that energy.
Yes, and this is something that I find really interesting.
Yeah.
It highlights this connection,
Uh-huh.
this deep connection between our inner world
Mm-hmm.
and the natural world.
It's interesting.
It's a concept that still resonates even today.
It does. It makes you think about our modern relationship with
Yeah.
nature, which seems very hands-off by comparison.
It does. It's very different. And this connection to the physical world, right?
Okay.
It's further emphasized in how much the text focuses on ritual.
Okay.
It's not just about what you say.
Right.
It's about how you do it
Right.
and where you do it.
Right.
There are these really detailed instructions on everything, from creating mandalas to the direction you should face during meditation.
It's so interesting how these practices saw the physical
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
spiritual as so intertwined.
Absolutely. That's really a key point here.
Okay.
The text seems to suggest that our physical actions
Mm-hmm.
aren't separate from our spiritual aspirations.
Yeah.
They're a way to kind of align the two,
Yeah.
create a bridge between the tangible and
Right,
the
yeah.
intangible.
Like a recipe, almost.
I think that's a great way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of recipes, the texts provide a really fascinating one when it comes to the nature of reality itself.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff.
Right,
I love it. I love it. They're not afraid to tackle the big questions.
right.
So what's their take? What's real and what's not real?
Well, one analogy really stuck out to me. The text compares our perception of reality to a reflection in a mirror.
Oh, yes. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that?
Okay, so think of it this way.
Sure.
Just like the mirror itself doesn't actually create the image.
Right.
Our minds don't inherently create like some objective reality.
Okay.
But just like the shape of a mirror
Yeah.
influences what the reflection looks like.
Okay.
Our perceptions shape our experience of the world around us, you know?
It's a powerful image.
Yeah.
So we're not just passive observers then.
No.
We're actively participating in shaping our own reality.
Yes, precisely. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect of these texts,
What's that?
the use of mudras.
Oh, you mean those specific hand gestures?
Yeah.
I saw those throughout the PDF. I'll admit, when I first saw those, I just thought they were, I don't know, illustrations, just symbolic.
Right.
Sure.
They are symbolic, but they're also meant to be much more than that.
Really?
Yeah, mudras are described as like almost like tools
Right.
for channeling energy.
Channeling energy. Okay, now you've got me really curious.
great.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
So the texts suggest that each mudra, right,
Okay.
each specific hand gesture
Okay.
is designed to direct the flow of prana.
Okay, so there's that word again. Prana.
Exactly. That vital life force
Right.
within the body.
Okay.
So it's not like just symbolic.
Yeah.
It's thought to create specific energetic effects during meditation.
Wow. So by positioning your hands in a certain way,
Yeah.
you're actually influencing energy within yourself.
That's the idea, yeah.
That's wild.
It is. And each mudra
Okay.
is associated with specific qualities or outcomes.
Like what?
So some are thought to enhance your focus,
Okay.
others to kind of promote healing,
Wow.
others to cultivate certain states of mind.
This is resonating with me. I've dabbled in meditation, and I always struggled to quiet my mind. So the idea of using mudras to kind of, to help focus that energy it's really interesting to me.
It speaks to that interconnectedness of our physical and our spiritual selves, right?
Exactly.
And this connection, the idea of connection,
Right.
is further emphasized in the symbolism that we see woven throughout these texts.
Yes. The mandalas, this intricate geometric design. They're so visually striking,
Right.
But there's obviously something deeper going on there, right?
Absolutely. Mandalas are described as visual representations of the cosmos.
Wow.
Like maps of the universe and our place within it.
And even the colors used in them?
Yes.
It's not just random, it's like...
Oh, it's very deliberate.
It's deliberate.
Very deliberate, yeah.
Okay.
Each color is associated with specific elements.
Okay.
Emotions, even deities.
Wow.
For example, white often represents purity, enlightenment, while blue can symbolize wisdom and tranquility.
So by meditating on a mandala, you're not just looking at a pretty picture.
No.
You're immersing yourself in a whole universe of meaning.
Exactly. And this focus on symbolism, this deeper meaning. It's not limited to kind of esoteric concepts like mandalas and mudras.
Okay.
These texts also offer a surprising amount of practical wisdom for navigating everyday life.
Really?
Yeah.
So this isn't all just like ancient philosophy.
It's not just theory.
There are actual concrete takeaways that we can apply to our modern lives.
Absolutely. The texts are full of
I love it.
Timeless advice on overcoming obstacles, cultivating wisdom, and living a more fulfilling life.
I have to admit, when I think ancient Buddhist texts, the word practical isn't necessarily the first thing that springs to mind.
Right.
So I'm really curious, what kind of advice are we talking about here?
Well, one recurring theme is the importance of mindfulness.
Okay.
And not just like in that meditative sense that we might think of.
Right.
But in like our everyday actions, our interactions.
Oh, like how?
So the texts emphasize paying attention to our thoughts, our words, our deeds, and like recognizing the impact that they have on ourselves and others.
Yeah, that resonates with me. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life,
Exactly.
And we kind of forget to be present.
Yeah.
And to really be conscious of the choices that we're making.
Yeah, and that's where I think these ancient teachings offer such a valuable perspective.
Okay.
They remind us that even like seemingly small actions, can have this ripple effect.
Okay.
They can create positive or negative consequences.
Wow.
And this connects to another key piece of practical advice, which cultivating compassion.
Compassion, okay.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about like self-improvement in isolation.
It's about how we relate.
It's about how we relate to the world around us.
To everything, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty profound.
It is.
When you think about it.
The texts suggest that true fulfillment, doesn't just come from personal enlightenment. But from recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and acting with kindness and understanding towards others.
I'm struck by, this is coming from texts that were written centuries ago.
Right.
But it feels so relevant.
It does.
Like even today, right?
Absolutely.
We're constantly being told about individual success.
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like there's this growing awareness of the importance of community.
And I think that's why these ancient teachings continue to resonate with people.
Okay.
They offer this timeless framework for navigating the challenges of being human.
It's like we're always searching for these answers, right, in all these different places.
Yeah.
And maybe the wisdom has been here all along.
Maybe.
Just passed down through generations.
And that's one of the...
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
It really is.
It's a beautiful thought, and I think that's maybe one of the most compelling takeaways from kind of diving deep into these ancient Buddhist secrets.
Right.
The journey to enlightenment, to a more fulfilling life. It's not about seeking something outside of ourselves.
It's about looking within.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about recognizing this potential for wisdom, for compassion, for connection that already exists within each of us.
So what will you take away from these ancient texts? What resonates with you? What will you explore further? It could be the power of mantras or mudras, the idea that our actions can shape our reality, or maybe it's the wisdom of mindfulness and compassion, the idea that we are all interconnected. Whatever sparks your curiosity, I encourage you to delve deeper, experiment, and discover how these ancient Buddhist secrets can illuminate your own path to a richer, more meaningful life.